The violin is the queen of all instruments, the most expressive instrument out there, and it's the only instrument that can completely mimic and even in some cases surpass the human voice. My parents are both musicians. My mother's a pianist, my father's a conductor. I started piano when I was 6. When my parents would go out for dinners and I'd be practicing at home, I'd find time to make my way upstairs in the house, and I'd find the fiddle, I'd take it out. It wasn't tuned or anything, but I remember there were two or three strings strung up on it. And I'd take it and I'd pluck the strings and try to vibrate. And that was my first kind of introduction to the violin. Piano, it's a beautiful, gorgeous instrument, but with the violin, I felt my voice. I found a way to reflect a sound that's beyond just a string and a hammer and a key. I found a way to express myself. As a professional musician, especially when you're up and coming, to get noticed, it's hard. So it was a few years back, it was 4 or 5 years back, and I needed a violin bow. The violin itself is, I'd say 90% of what you sound like, what you play, but the bow gives a certain quality of sound. And I didn't have money at the time, I just started working. So my mother told me, when we just came here, we took money from the Jewish Free Loan Foundation. They want to see you prosper, they want to see you establish yourself. And I applied. I got 2 references. I applied, I was invited for the interview. They sat down, they listened to, if I remember, it was an hour and a half. I went through everything, starting from how the violin is made, to how they string up the fiddle, how to rehair the bow, Rosin the bow, what wood it's made out of, where it came from, and then they said yes, absolutely. They were interested. And I remember just next week, I had that money and I was able to purchase that bow. I can't express how much it helped me in terms of stage presence, in terms of, there's a certain factor of worry that involves on stage. And then once you have that right tool, that right utensil once you're playing, and you feel completely sure and certain in what you're doing. If the Jewish Free Loans weren't able to give me that money, it could have sounded different, I could have acted different, I could have felt different on stage. Certain pieces, actually, I couldn't even be able to play. Certain caprices in Paganini's Opus 1 could have been different. So this bow really helped me out.